Hi everybody! Continuing on my series where I talk about the songs from my second album, this video is about song number 11 on the album called Red. So I'm going to start off by showing the amazing artwork that was done for this track. So this piece done by Émilie Léger. This piece was done by Audrey Desrosiers. This piece done by Alex Bell. And this is the photograph taken by photographer Philip Faith. And yes, it is me with a very awesome warrior mask that was done by my very talented friend, Émilie Bourguignon. So, Red, first up, Red had two working titles. So its original incarnation, this was a song I wrote back in 2013. So it's the oldest song on the album. It took me a very long time to piece it together. It is, I do believe it's the longest track on the album. And it did take all that time to really understand it. Talking about this song to a lot of my singer-songwriter or just composer friends, it is true that there are songs that'll come to you and they just come like that. And if I think, for example, my song Alive, which is on my first album, that was the kind of song that just within a half hour, I had it completely done. The lyrics were done, all the parts were there, all the chord progression just came straight through. And we're always very grateful for that. But then there's other songs like Red that take years to really figure out. So the first incarnation of it originally was called River of Blood. And then I changed it to Slaughterfield, and then it just became Red. It's a song where I really go in depth in describing the apocalypse that followed a very intense, very fast relationship that I had with someone back then, back in like 2012, 2012, I think, or even earlier than that, 10. Anyway, point is, at that point, I had this relationship that just skyrocketed with someone in a very short amount of time, and then the person just dropped out. There we go. Just dropped out, and it crashed so hard and so much, and the impact was huge. We're talking someone with whom I had business with as well. We were talking, it was like creative business. We were very much merging into doing lots of things together. We had lots of projects together. We were both very much inspiring each other. And then it just ended right there and then. It was so intense for me to deal with. And it was very bloody inside what I felt. When I talk about apocalypse, and the reason why the song is called Red, and when you read the lyrics and there's that part that talks about the crimson sky, it's, to me, this song is this picture of like a post-apocalyptical world where, the sky is red and the water is red. That's why it was called River of Blood originally. And the soil is just gray and dirt, and all the buildings are, shattered to pieces, and basically all's left in that world is the woman and the man. On either side, there's a bridge that's broken between them. And at that point, the only way for me to get out of that, to, move on with my life, was to channel warrior goddesses, hence the mask that I wear in this photo. I called upon the Morrigan, who is the Celtic goddess of war. She has many aspects, but That was the aspect that I focused on. And also the Indian goddess Kali. Both of them are very um, intense warrior goddesses. That's the best word I can use. They're really more focused on war than anything else. Um, and they are those aspects, the annihilating feminine. It's all so that was like my only way. Sometimes you do have to go all the way there in order to come back. You do have to speak with that energy inside you and just tell yourself, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to experience what you're experiencing. And, like I said before, when something skyrockets like that and then just crashes in such a short period of time, it's a pretty intense breakup and it's a pretty intense thing to experience. And it's just when, you go from, just flying high to just shattered million pieces. The only way for me to deal with it was to just write that epic song. um, Music wise, I had worked on it with the band that I went on tour with back in 2014. It had a very different sound to it at that point. When I got in the studio and recorded the version that would be on original game, I really knew where I wanted the bass to go. We take it's a very tribal song, because I did want to channel those raw, very primal forces that, the warrior warrior goddesses take their energy from. They're very earthbound, earth connected. So I'm incredibly proud of how it turned out. It's just it's so good. I'm so proud of it because I worked on it for such a long time, and until I finally got to the point where I would have those tribal drums, and I even recorded a hand drum on top of what Fred Gauthier did on drums, and then what the bass is doing, that awesome, very repetitive, also very tribal, coming from like Doom, I think, that the sound engineer was saying. Just like it almost makes you want to dance. It makes you want to get into that sort of warrior mode in your head and just like really get out there and like just yeah go what you gotta do to do what you gotta do to go at war, and then come out winning, whatever that definition is for you, but basically come out alive. And then, generally, as far as the lyrics go, I also it's the song that I worked on the lyrics for the longest time. And I added quite a lot of parts, because I really wanted the story to be complete in that song, because it was written that much long ago. It's it still, of course, is very deeply rooted in the theme of desire, because, of course, it was a song about that relationship. But it's not related to the story of Vicious, which is the character that's like throughout the album, and that's like the main conducting line. So it really had to be powerfully, solidly standing on its own. So that's why it's long and it's so complete. And you can really completely understand the story from beginning to end, through it. So I'm super proud of that song. It's a song I love to start the live shows with, because it really gets you in the mood to just come out of the live performance alive. It's a great metaphor, I think. So you guys go ahead and listen to the track. Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp links are all in the description box. And of course, buy yourself one of these, my deck of cards, where you can get all the playing cards as well as the cool contents on the USB key. So much love, and have a good one. I will see you on the next video.